There's missing some slides. But the NG 2.0 technology is our newest technology that will be introduced this year in all our factories. It will be implemented in our plugs, blocks, and slabs. Because it will be implemented in the plugs, blocks, and slabs, then you have the best interaction between those materials. And in my opinion, that's a win-win situation at the grower side. Okay, that's a nice story, but what does it mean for you as a propagator? If you look to the first point, you get a fast initial wetting. So at the first saturation at the block line, you just get a fast initial wetting, so it's a strong point. In what we see at the propagator side, you get a higher resaturation level. If you compare that with the plantar delta, if you look at the first point, fast initial wetting, because of the fast initial wetting, we don't see any more dry spots in plugs and blocks anymore. We are using the 100% the volume, and because of the higher resaturation level, you can steer better on your water content on EC. Okay, I was saying that we have a higher resaturation level with the NG 2.0. I can say that, but we also proved that. This is a practical trial between plantar delta and NG 2.0. This is measured by the GrowSense. This is 2 months ago, in July. If you look to the blue line, that's the plantar delta. The red line is the NG 2.0. And as you can see, the NG 2.0 was all the time has a 5% higher resaturation level. We don't see this all the time, but more or less the resaturation level between plantar delta and NG 2.0 is, the NG 2.0 is more or less 5% higher than the plantar delta. So with other words, you can better steer on your water content with NG 2.0. Another thing of the NG 2.0 is what we see that the roots are growing more inside of the block and not on the outside of the block. And that's the thing what we want to see as a Groda, because we want to see the roots in the grooves. If you look to the right picture, and they come from the center and then they go to the bottom. So we want to see more roots in the grooves, so you get more pem roots, so you get a faster rooting in at the grower side. So that's, in my opinion, 2 strong points about NG 2.0. Now I'm going to jump into other subjects. The first one is smaller planting holes. I suppose Jean-Claude or Hans introduced it 3 years ago, more or less. Jean-Claude. What I've seen the last 2 years, that a lot of propagators in Holland are trialing smaller planting holes. And what I've seen, that it is a success. What does it bring then for you as a propagator? Smaller planting holes, you have just more connection between the plugs and your blocks. Because of the more connection, you get less evaporation. You get a faster rooting in. Because of that, then you have more time to go, more growing time, more or less 5 to 8%. So you get a more uniform crop. So in my opinion, a lot of small good things about smaller planting holes. You can see it on pictures. Yeah, they speak for themselves, I think. Okay, different key limits. What I've noticed the last 2 years, that a lot of companies worldwide are not familiar with the amount of key limits what we have as a Groda. And now I'm going to give you a quick review about the key plugs what we have as a Groda. Everybody knows that we have the standard plug, but we have also the Pro plug, and the Pro plug is the brown wool, but we have also the Grow plug, and the Grow plug is the NG 2.0 technology. Those 3 plugs we can deliver also with a deep seed hole plug that's especially made for the root stocks. And for cucumber seeding, we have also a key plug for cucumber seeding, and we call them the Unigrow plug. And we can deliver our key plugs. Standard, we deliver 20mm wide plugs, but we can deliver them also in 22mm wide. And we are busy with the Thermoclite free plug. So in my opinion, a lot of key plugs. I'm now going to jump in the last 4 plugs. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. The DeepAcetal plug. The DeepAcetal plug is originally developed for the rootstocks, so that they are more in the center of the plug. If they are more in the center of the plug, they are easier to select. So you get more plants in selection 1 and 2. So you get so you have more usable plants. So probably less plants to throw away. Oh, good thing, I suppose. We have a few years ago there were some questions from a client if we can develop a key plug for cucumber seeding. So we developed the Unigrow, we call it the Unigrow plug. And the Unigrow plug is always in the brown wool and it's always 22mm wide. What are the biggest benefits of the Unigrow plug? If you look at the picture, the seeds are not laying down anymore on the plug, but they are laying down in the plug. The stem stays shorter. Because of the stem stays shorter, it's ideal for imaging, for the camera on your selection machine. Because of the seeds are inside of the plug, there is less dehydration. And the cucumbers stay more compact, if you compare that with the standard plug. Beside of our 20mm wide plugs, we can deliver also our plugs in 22mm wide plugs. What are then the biggest benefits from 22mm wide plugs? You have just more than 10% volume. The volume will give you for sure in the summer. It can delay irrigation shots. Yeah, and from day 10, what we see in the most trials, what Hans and me were doing, from day 10 you get a little bit more growth. So more volume gives you a little bit more growth. But there is also one challenge still to come. The more volume gives you also delay on irrigation shots. So keep that in mind if you are trying that. It's not the same as the 20mm plugs. Future propagation. I think Gildan asked a few years at the Propagators in Holland, what do you want that we change as a Gildan on our plugs? They say, if we can deliver a Thermoclite free plug, that will be great. So in our factory they developed a Thermoclite free plug. And what are then the biggest benefits of this plug? There's no covering needed anymore with Thermoclite, makes sense. It's ideal for selection, ideal for the selection for the machine, so your machines get not dirty anymore, your spacing machines don't get dirty anymore, and on your floors don't get slippery anymore. You don't get any pollution anymore in this disinfection system, and there is no silting anymore from Thermoclite. So in your germination process, they will not, if they germinate, they will not stock because of the Thermoclite. But there are also still some challenges to conquer with the Thermoclite. The rootstocks stay short. If you look to the left picture, those rootstocks are 10 days old. The left one is with Thermoclite, the right one is without Thermoclite. So you can see that's a big change. The Thermoclite free plug really needs more water. And the rootstocks needs more time to grow. But I think for future-wise, it's a possibility. And the last thing what I want to say is what I've seen the last 2 years, that a lot of trials in sweet peppers, with grafted sweet peppers. But the most of those trials go wrong because those plants clearly need to be propagated differently than the normal and standard way as sweet peppers. So keep in mind, it is coming, I don't know, next year or a year later, but that is just more specialization for the propagators. Are there any questions left?